Hi, my name is Ramla, and this is Two Cents with Rami, where I host family, friends, colleagues, and other personalities. Today, I have a friend, and I was actually going to say a colleague, but no, he's on a whole different pedestal, and he's not my colleague, but I'm fortunate to have him as a good friend. I have an old student of St. Augustine's College. I had to mention that.
Allah.
I had to mention that. I'm a Hobson. It feels good to have an Hobsonian.
Good.
Yes. And then he also, during his time in St. Augustine's College, he was the assistant head prefect. That's such a big deal. So, yes, today I have a friend, a very revered friend, Dr. Raymond Cornell.
Hey.
Azay!
Yo, Rami.
Azay! What's it then? How is everything?
It's good. It's
First
good.
and foremost, I am so grateful you were able to make it.
All right,
I am
sure.
grateful. And I actually do appreciate your support. You know how you consciously go out every time. Like, you're always there for people.
Sure. Thanks for the compliment.
I am grateful.
I really appreciate it. But yeah, like for me, I think some of them are second nature. Like
right.
Do what you can, man.
Thank you, Aziz.
So, anyway.
First opinion is if your humanity can be bought, you have no integrity. Let me repeat that. If your humanity can be bought, you have no integrity.
What do you mean by that, though? Like, can you explain? I mean,
so to be humane, you know what it means to be human.
Sure.
To be kind, to have a firm stand, you know the difference between right and wrong.
Sure.
So the moment somebody can buy that from you, you have no integrity. That's basically what it's saying.
I think that one is a no-brainer. Yes, I agree.
You agree?
Yes, in my opinion, like if there's a price on your humanity, then more or less, almost every other time you be compromised. Because it's only about the asking price of how somebody is willing to either pay you or give you another service whatsoever, just so you give away whatever it is that you are not doing for humanity or you are letting go. So yeah, like if there is a price on your humanity, if it can't be bought, I don't think you have integrity.
Right.
I mean, like the word integrity itself explains, being honest, having very strong moral principles. So if you are not, no brainer for me.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
Totally.
I saw this girl on social media and she was talking about how she had a contract. I think she's a content creator. She had a contract and it paid so well, but she realized that the mother company of the people that were offering her that contract has a major support for Israel. And she was like, you know what, this is the biggest money I have ever seen, but I don't stand for what you're supporting. So let the money go.
Yeah, I mean, some of these days, they are quite tough positions to be in, especially when you know Charlie in here do.
Yes.
Charlie, but sometimes I believe that there's some sort of inner peace when you know truly that this sits well with you. It sits well with your soul.
Right.
It's way better than just having your conscience being. And it depends. Some people they'll
don't
feel like you know what, Charlie, it is do.
Everybody is doing that, so I might as well.
I think there's a greater good.
Right.
Yes, in sticking
I
with
think
moral
so too.
principle.
I equally think so too.
Yes.
And one thing I do admire people that have firm stands. Like they stand on. They're like, you know what? You know the protest. I truly do admire you. You know, yes, you do have a firm stand. It's not, like when you're on something, you're like, do you know what? If this is wrong, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And
I do though. Not always. It does not always bring you the kind of joy you are, because it takes a lot to always have some. But Charlie, you have to stand for something.
It does.
If you don't stand for something, you will definitely be drifted into something. You know, so that is it.
I also believe that if you don't stand for something, you would fall for everything, anything at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, sure.
The second opinion, formal education guarantees success.
Formal education guarantees success.
Right.
No. It's
you didn't even think about this opinion.
So it's a no. But formal education, I think to some extent puts you in a touching distance to success, or more or less gives you some leeway, or some sort of stepping stone to success. And if you look at most of, I mean, if you look at our society, most of the you would call it the white collar jobs, so like most of them is through formal education.
Right.
I went to formal education to become a doctor. Like most of it is formal education. However, it is not a guarantee for success.
Right.
It may guarantee that for some it may secure you a job. It may secure, and also another very important thing though, what's success to you? You see, it's success is multifaceted. You to someone it's financial gain, to another having impact, to some folks it's even involves the mere, I mean, look, moving on in life, getting married. So success may vary for me. Even now, whenever you speak about most folks, a star or so, whenever you are talking about it, it'll be like, oh, this star has about 3 million social media
That's success to somebody.
followers. Yes,
And
to
has
them
nothing to do with
exactly. The
formal
higher
education.
number of people you have following you, that means you're successful. That means you're influential. So it's multifaceted in our community. To some, look, having a decent job, being able to, I mean, be self-sufficient alone, and then have not to bother anybody for money or so, is success. So
Right.
success is more, but however, it puts you in a touching distance. It doesn't also mean that, look, if you do not have a formal education, I think sometimes it is the best thing that happened to some folks. Why? You see, when you don't go through the mainstream stuff, or you don't necessarily have what everybody has, there's a sense of a chip on your shoulder to make it.
Right.
So those who don't have, there are two things. They will be at the very ends of the spectrum. Either they are probably in the lower end, as in poor, or they make it big, as in doing the business, because it gives you sometimes not having the formal education, there's a risk that you have to take.
Right.
There's you literally have nothing to hold on to sometimes, and
Right.
because of that, most folks will be like, no, I have to make it.
Right.
So, and reality too is that now most of the jobs, basic jobs, you may need some sort of diploma or some sort of basic education
Right.
before you get them. So it may put you well in society, all right, but it does not necessarily guarantee success, and that's dependent on how you define success.
Right. That's quite elaborate.
Yeah.
And makes sense though.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Rayward Cornell, you know what, I have to address you by your title. It has something to do with your profession.
Yeah.
So this third
But you know, most of my life, you've not known me as that. Like, you just call me as a. Of which
Right.
I feel like it's much more endearing.
Right.
Yeah.
But this
yeah.
particular opinion,
Yeah.
it has something to do with your profession. That is why I'm
Alright.
addressing you
Okay.
as Dr. Rayward Cornell.
All right.
It feels good to call you that. Okay, so
Asama.
health workers
Yeah.
are one of the rudest people and inhumane.
Hey.
This is a very, very popular opinion. And you know
Very
this, in
strong one.
recent times, we have seen that, and it's quite sad. I don't want to even say I'm being biased, but really and truly, I do believe in this opinion.
Okay.
Except that, I mean, I have a couple of friends, people like you that I know that I'm like, okay, it could be an exception, but I feel the majority.
Can I? Yeah. Do you know? I mean, I like how you're putting the exception, but I always have a funny thought that everybody is not. I mean, we more or less will indicate, oh, everybody is corrupt except the one I know. You know, everybody
Right.
has that opinion of, oh, they are all corrupt, but the one I know is not
It's
corrupt. Anyways, though, that is not to, I mean, discredit what you said, but I don't agree. And I know it may sound
Obviously,
biased.
you'll
Like,
be biased
I'm in
because
the
you are a
field, I'm a
doctor.
health worker and all, but I just want you to, I mean, look at it this way. Now, have you been to, I'm pretty sure you've either worked or encountered any social setting, or let me put it, government settings. You've
Right.
been in any government,
Right.
either having to
Right.
go to the police or
Right.
anywhere, right?
Right.
How do you reckon their
Demeanor,
demeanor or their service? What's your opinion on that?
you know.
The reason is that this will, I mean, influence what I'm yeah. What's your opinion on that? Or generally, when it
Yes,
comes to
people-
government service, Like, what's your
when
opinion
when it
on?
comes to government service, of course we have the good and we have the bad. But yours has to do with somebody's life, literally dependent on you.
Okay.
And you still, for some reason, always feel, "Do you know what? Yes, I am the God for you today, so I get to ignore you. I get to treat you however I want to."
I
And
mean,
I
it's
honestly feel it's a calling. It's a calling, not for everybody. It's
Yeah.
just particular people should be called to do that. It's really pathetic.
I mean, do I share your sentiments? I do share it. Have I more or less seen some of the? I always don't take, especially when anything is popping up on social media or so. I don't take it as, especially when I don't have much information on any particular incident whatsoever. But it will be a huge dismiss and quite, I mean, hypocritical if I were to say that, oh, these things don't exist, or people don't have these feelings, these sentiments,
Right.
and some have strong backings. However, I asked the initial question of whether you've been in any government setting, or even if not any government setting, how do you actually evaluate the general Ghanaian service anywhere at all?
Right. And my thing, sorry,
When you go to
my
a
thing,
store or
good.
yeah.
My thing with this comparison is the fact that for your, you see, if I go to buy something and then the person is mean to me, I will take my money somewhere else.
Exactly.
If I go to the police station, I'm reporting a case, and then I would find somebody else. I would, do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? But when I come to the hospital and I am dying, and I say, you don't take care of me, where am I going to again?
All right.
And I feel that that is the problem. You people feel we are dependent on you.
Some God complex here.
You get, and then you are not God. At the end of the day, you are not God.
It's true. Now, this is what I'll say on this. For whatever you're saying it has a lot of truth to it. Okay.
Right.
However, my thoughts about this is that it's not necessarily that this is peculiar to. It's not peculiar to healthcare. Now, I believe, in my own opinion, I think that it's much more of a Ghanaian attitude thing. But what is the issue? You see, the same scenarios that you gave. If I went to a store, someone was mean to me, rude to me, I may even buy the stuff, but it does not stick. In a week or two time, I'll just know that, okay, this store, either I'll go there or this person here.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is that in healthcare, you see the gravity of our attitude. What am I saying? If you, whatever scenario you put it, in healthcare, if I should use the same attitude, you see the gravity of it.
Yes.
The reason is because it's a human life at stake.
More
Exactly.
reason
So
why you should be different.
Yes. So, and that is my opinion on it, that it is not necessarily peculiar to healthcare, as in that, oh, doctors, nurses, midwife, whichever group of people that you can term in healthcare. I don't think it's peculiar. It's an attitude stuff, except that we see the gravity of that attitude in healthcare. You can show that attitude anywhere. But in healthcare, for example, if I have to actually see somebody, in medicine, we'll talk about how, time is life. If I have to do a procedure or whatsoever it is, and because of my personal feelings or grievances whatsoever, I feel like, you know what, I feel this towards you, I'm even beefing with someone and I don't have to do it. Well, it is the patient that suffers.
Right.
And the gravity of it will be felt. Years down the line, whoever the family is or so, is something that stays with them. So I don't think it's actually peculiar to healthcare. It's our attitude stuff that we have to change. Now, if I go to any establishment and I go to the reception or so, and a person is looking at their phone, not attending to me, I may be pissed, I may be annoyed, but does not stay with me for a year or two.
Yes.
If I go to the hospital and somebody has to see me, and they are not seeing me at this moment that I need or I perceive that I need it, yes, it hits more than like it's much more. It leaves some sort of indelible mark on your memory that this is a terrible experience. Yes. So it's not peculiar. I think it's a Ghanaian attitude stuff, and I'm talking about attitude of lack of agency. It's everywhere. An attitude of time consciousness. It's everywhere. An attitude of sometimes even personal grievances in many things, so a number of these, it's just that, as I said, when you bring it in healthcare, you see the gravity of it.
So that's why I think that you people should not be doing that. It's quite painful. It's very
it
painful.
will be a dismiss to also say that, and I agree. Are there other issues probably that contribute to some of this? They do. But also communication is very important. Why?
Hmm.
When
But
you
the person
look
is not
at the
giving me the time.
patient,
How will I even communicate
yes. So
with you?
when you look at the doctor to patient ratio, nurse to patient, in fact, it's quite overwhelming. So there are times that I believe, and it depends on whoever is communicating with. If when I know that, look, this is the situation, and then I don't mind communicating to all the people I'm seeing that, look, this is the situation of, we are going to look at you one by one, prescribe what we have to do and all here and there. If you have anything whatsoever, because usually when you come to any facility, they triage. So, and triaging is not necessarily it's different from going for OPD. If it's an emergency, a triaging is to ascertain who needs our help right now, that if we don't help, this person is dying. And who, for some reason, is a green case, or is someone that, for some reason, okay, we'll be able to give a medication right now, but we let you know, please kindly wait. We have to attend this person. So there are grades to it that every triad, though I think sometimes the miss is communication,
Yes.
which is very
Yes.
vital.
Yes.
Because there are situations that you have somebody that comes with them, or even a cat, or whatever situation it is, but probably, I don't know whether it's pressure or whatever the situation, communication sometimes breaks down, so
Right.
you are not able to, or they don't get the message as they would like to, and it will be painful if the person sits down for a long time without hearing from anybody or ever getting acknowledged that, look, I'm also ill. So I think probably communication will solve most of these.
Yeah, I think so
Communication
too.
will solve
With the
most of these.
explanation you've given, I think it's something that you health workers should learn.
But you know what? Sometimes I always tell you, I always hear people, yeah, they bash health workers.
Oh, yeah.
Rarely,
Oh, yeah.
rarely. Look, I'm telling you, rarely will you also get somebody. I don't know why, who come to say the good side of it. I feel like there are a lot of health workers
The good stuff is not plenty.
kicking their butts just so that we've learned to do so much with very little that now we can do everything with nothing. And which is the sickening part of it. It shouldn't be so.
Right.
It shouldn't be so. Whenever I see people, following politicians and all of that, the first thing I ask them is that, are you really talking to them about what we have in our hospitals? Like I always ask myself, if I am ill, will I actually go to these facilities that we all serve in? And take away even, the attitude and stuff and all, which maybe, it depends on wherever you are encountering these services, but also the facilities we provide. Would we be okay to access these facilities? And I'm asking myself, health workers, politicians, whoever it is that they feel like, look, they are in the upper echelons of society, would you access these facilities that every average Ghanaian can access? And for most of them and all, it's no.
Yeah.
So it's not a one size fits all.
So
stuff.
I get the grievance part you're talking about, but I still.
But I know the attitude stuff. I know
Yeah.
it's something that, as I said, it's not a singular situation, or it's something that communication-wise it has to be
Right.
improved. And it embodies every part of the hospital, not only even doctors and nurses, sometimes even communication from reception everywhere.
Yeah.
It can influence how I realize that sometimes when somebody comes, they could be so ill and all, but even a word of encouragement, even a way of saying something alone can immediately change their demeanor. Okay? Yes, and I employ, I implore all health workers.
I think this probably should be a course that maybe you guys study.
Oh, it's true. It's massive. I implore, for example, if somebody ever comes, there are situations that people will come to the hospital and the person may have passed already. How you even deliver that message alone has a massive impact on the recipient of that message. I cannot just go out and say, no. You see, if I ever deliver them, it only gives the impression of that you didn't even try.
Right.
I always employ, no. Take the person in, do your examination, do everything and then do the assessment. If the person truly is gone, do everything and then and call the family in a separate room and let them know. Yeah. So is there a lot to be done? I think so. Yes,
Right.
but sometimes we Charlie, yeah, boy, own wasn't you should give us our flowers, Charlie.
Yes, I mean the
Sometimes
flowers.
people are kicking their butts, doing way more than actually what their job description describes. Just because the person cannot sit there and see somebody die because of 200 Ghana cedi, 300 Ghana
Oh,
cedi.
but see, I'm here.
And oh, I'm telling you,
You know me.
if
You
a
some
lot
of
of
you do.
a lot of people are contributing a lot just because they cannot sit down just to see somebody, and it's not part of their role whatsoever. If you go to pedics department, if you go to many other departments, even doctors soliciting outside, just and this should not be but you know, or yeah, abade or do like and all of these that makes people do it's kind of passion, you know.
Right.
So I believe
Anyway,
so,
we'll
Charlie.
probably have a whole episode talking about this.
I know,
Completely.
I know.
I say
Yeah.
we have come to the end of today's opinions.
All right, sure.
But then again, if you have watched, have you watched episodes of Two Cents?
Yes, I've watched.
Okay.
I've
So
watched
you know-
about three or
Oh,
four. Yes.
thank you.
I've watched three
So
or
that
four.
would mean that you know that I ask my guests
Yes.
to give me one opinion that they stand firmly on.
Yeah.
That in good or in bad, they
Yeah.
are firm on
Yeah.
that opinion. So give us your
I'll
two
give you
cents.
two. Yeah.
I say, give me one opinion for today because you are coming back. So
I'll
yes,
be coming back.
Yes.
Then, are you sure you don't have space for two? Okay. So one.
Go ahead.
So one is that relationships will take you places that your money cannot. I have entered places, have had doors open to me that my money or whatever my worth is, I couldn't get there, all because of being, you know. And I'm talking about either it's a mentor, a friend. Relationships can take you places that your money cannot take you.
That is true. I
Yes.
do agree with your opinion.
Yeah, and then the next one as well is that find God. It may not be popular, but find God
For yourself.
and yes, and hold onto Him tight. Find a purpose. Why? Even in the seemingly bleak times, in turmoil, in total mayhem, for some reason there is this inexplicable joy, calm, peace that you feel. It's not something you can explain to anybody. Find God, and for some reason life gets easier, better, and less stressful.
Right. I do agree with all your opinions you are bringing, and thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate
Oh, I
that.
love it. I love it.
I
love
thank
it.
you so much, Dr. Raymond Cornell.
Hey,
and
Ramla, I'm good.
kindly take us away.
Hey, so yeah, this is 2 Cents with Rami. Yeah, look,
Okay.
subscribe, share,
Okay.
comment on this. Yeah, we want to, push this show to a different level. And yeah, we'll catch you again. 2 Cents with Rami.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you some other time.